I got it, mate. Thank you. Got it? Mate. Sorry.
Doing well, Chinny. Keep working, buddy. Yeah, fun, Greg. Yeah. Oh, hopefully the golf form's popping over there.
I was talking to someone last week from you guys, and the tackle count comes right at the very end of everything that I say. Right? So don't listen for it at the start. It comes as the guy playing the ball. That might help. Okay.
There's an obvious time that making playing stuff I'm looking at.
Yes, yeah. Okay, I thought you were going to say holding down.
No.
Yeah, but just for those other breaks. Yeah. No, I'll keep an eye on that. Well, it's up to me to tell how long it is to reasonably deal with the issue. Some clubs have... No, nothing. All right, time you run.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Is it? Alright, no worries, I'll make sure.
Butchers, stand!
Move it!
Hold! Go one. Move! Here and wait, go.
Three.
9, stand! Go 3.
3 now.
Forward, knock on. Knock on. Yeah. Butcher's piece. All right.
Take a step, winger. Take a step forward.
Righto, ball
Hold
in.
the far side.
Still.
Offside in centre. 11-4.
We'll play through here.
Yeah, you got advantage.
Move! 1. Six!
Just wait up there.
Stand!
Just wait up there.
Go 2.
Alright. No.
Knock on. All right. Heads in. Ball in. Yeah. Butchers move! Go 1. Release! Go 2. Thirteen, stand. Wait, go 3. Up! Hold! Go 4.
Hold on.
All right, let go. 1. 14 up. Hold, go 2. 13, markers up. Hold, go 3. 3. 18 away. 4. Last tackle to me 9. Go last. Faces on. Good. Stand up. Nothing early. Go. 1. Move. Hold. Go 2. Strong. Hold. Go 3. 9. Stand up. Hold. Go 4. Last tackle. Nothing early here, 12. Just wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Go. Last. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine as well. That's a knock on. Knock on. Last tackle. Change over here. Just on the line there. No, it's the last tackle, so it'll be a change over. Yeah, he knocked it on first. Didn't know that, Kristen. Hey? Yeah, that can happen a number of ways. Yeah, thanks. Thanks.
Why you've got a break, Nick?
Yeah.
Number 3, Thirroul, when in defence.
Yeah.
Okay, he's sneaking up on you outside occasionally.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright, what are we doing, guys?
Other than that, mate, all good. Bring it up, marker. Bring it up, markers. Bring it up. Bring it up, boys.
Drive.
Take a step. That's it.
Thanks, mate. Let him up! No, had a hand on it. Had a hand on it. That was 1. Move 11!
Don't hold.
Hold. Go 2.
Get in on it.
Move! 3. That's fine. Let him up! Hold. Go 4.
Get up!
14 release, last tackle! Out. Play on. Knock on. In the field of play. He was in the field of play. We've got to knock on. We'll have a scrum. All right, scrum's here. Full feet.
One more.
Other side, Greg. Greg. Yep. What is it? Thank you. You're right, mate. Hold here, guys. Hold.
Heads in.
Hold there.
Ball in. Stay out. Corrimal release! Hold! 1.
Knock on both ways, mate.
Lost it into the Corrimal player. Lost it into the Corrimal player. All right.
Yeah, if we can just keep that tempo rolling.
Keep him here now.
Let's go. Let's go, Corrimal. Good work, yeah, well. Let's take it. On your feet. Hold the line, Thirroul.
Okay. All right. Ball in. Out. Up now, 7. Go 1.
Get it off!
Move! Hold! Go 2. Stand up!
All the way, 3.
Hold! Hold! Go 3. That's a knock on.
We're in the race. Guys, get the game going!
Corrimal knock on.
Come on, let's see you now. Oi!
Here we are, guys. Hold it to the far side.
Wait there. Let's go. Second rower.
Take a step, boys. Step. Have a step, 11.
All right,
11.
head in. Ball in.
That's
out.
Good.
Release! Go 1.
Watch your right side, Nick. Good call.
13. 6.
To the line, guys. On the line.
Yeah, mate. Just make sure you're in line with me.
Hold the line. Hold the line. Hold on the line. Offside.
We're not going to penalise that. 6! Stand up! Hold! Hold! Go 1.
Wait up there, please. Just wait up there.
Release!
Hands off, 11.
Go 2. Knock on. No, don't stand there and throw your arms
Hold,
around.
boys. Hold.
Right, ball in. Yep. Out. Boston!
Hands off. No, don't hold the
Hold!
jumper.
Hold!
That jumper.
Go 1. Good hit. Go
3
2.
all the way. 3's offside.
Yeah. Come on. Stand up, 3. Get on side. Wait, that's better. Go 3. Keep those calls coming, Nick. Thank you.
You're right, mate.
13, stand. Hold. Go 4. Last tackle!
Leave the hands. One side. Leave.
No, he went behind. He was behind. All right. Try let him up now. For 1. Try now. Hold. Go 2.
Work with 16.
Up 3. Go 3. Move 9. Hold. Try. 4.
Just wait here, please.
Last tackle.
Hold the line, guys.
Lost it.
fucking go!
Yeah, come.
Fucking take a look. Let's go. They don't fucking get out of the team, alright?
Time out, Mick. Time out, Mick. We've got a man down. Some trainers on.
Yeah. Right, are you the captain? You are? I need to know who it is. Right. Yeah.
Hold on, mate, boys! I got him, Greg. Yeah.
Oh! All right, seconds in you go. Time back on.
Hold!
Ball in.
Hold! Hold! 12 off. 12's involved.
12 at the scrum, offside. 12, yeah. There we go, on the line there.
3 minutes past, mate. Make sure you're on side, buddy.
Wait for the tap. Go. 12, hands out. Go 1. Butchers up. Go 2. 13 up. Hit to me. Go 3. 16, move.
Off now, 7, 7.
Hold. Go 4. Held now, last tackle. Stand. No early. Hold. Go last. Scrum here.
Scrum. Yeah.
Let go.
Hold it, guys.
All right,
Hold
no
it.
head in. Ball in. Yeah. Don't play it on him. Up again. Up.
Still.
No, I gave you the benefit of the doubt multiple times there.
Jack. Get on.
All right, wait, stop. All right, there you go.
Meter short. Onside 5. Good.
All right, off you go. Move now.
Off in, guys.
Hold.
Start crowd, 6.
1.
11, 10, 4 on your right.
Come on, Paddy, matey.
18. Stand. Here to meet Matt. Wait there. Go 2.
Better that time.
Forward.
5 metres, mate. Half payment point.
Wait, mate. Yeah. Scrum's here where it was thrown. It's got to be where it's thrown from.
Watch out, not up. Mate, watch out. We had a scrum called. As soon as we this up. We had a scrum called.
Stay on side. Look at the touch kick. Stay on side.
You got him, Greg?
All right, ball in. Yeah.
Left side. That one there, 7. All that one offside.
7 up now. Hold. Go 1. 7 move.
Step back.
Wait. Go 2. 7! Stand up!
Arms, get down out of it there.
Wait.
3, get on side.
Move! Go. 4.
No, it's alright. Let's play on. Chase is good.
Surrender tackle. That's fine, go. That's a shocking play the ball. Didn't even try. Did not even try to get a foot on that.
Good call, G. Good call. Yeah, too short, mate. Onside, 2, onside.
Go.
Good.
17, move! Hold. Go 1. Stand up! 2. On the line here.
Oh, with the far side, 2.
All right, ball in. Out. Hold! Let go! Go 1. Stand up! Go 2. Move! 9. Hold. Go 3. Six stand!
20, take another step.
Good. Go 4. Last tackle!
Good.
Face is good. All right, stand now. Go 1. No. Move! 2. 17 up. With me and wait. Hold. Hold. Go 3. 17 now. Wait. Wait. Go 4. Last tackle. Butchers up. 18. Get on side. Go last. Still last. 11. Give 10. Good now. Nine, move! Here and wait. Wait, no, wait. Go 1. Eight, now up! Wait.
Right side,
Go 2.
Side.
Movement! Go 3.
Go in and up,
Forward. Gone forward. That's it. 4, please, boys. Last one, guys. Grass is a bit long, eh? job, champ.
Hey.
Bit of a scrappy game.
Yeah. Well, lots of scrums, not many tries. Hey, Adam. Good, how are you? Whoa. Hello?
Hey, mate.
Come on, turn that off now.
Bit ticklish, mate. No, it's always stress. You know that stress. Isn't it? All that stress you're getting from being a teacher.
I'm going to take some exactly right.
Whoop.
About the intermittent small siren?
Yeah, I was hearing it.
Yeah, so show me main siren.
Yeah, that's right.
Come on, boys, off we get. Hang on. The rest, got one ball boy and the rest of you outside the fence. Who's the ball boy? Who's the ball boy? There, two. Alright, the rest of you. The other guys, can you outside the fence, please? Up outside. Yeah, they've got to stay outside the fence. Right, that's all. I just didn't watch it. Yeah. If they don't do a good job, you tell them. End of the game, you give them a score out of 10. Tell them how good they went. You reckon a 10?
Definitely, Greg.
Big enough. All right. Ready.
That's good to go. Yeah, have you got me, Greg?
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael?
Yeah, got you, buddy.
All right.
And down!
What's that? Left lane.
Wait, that way.
Comes there. Ready?
Yeah, Corrimal!
You had plenty of time to get ready, mate. Right there.
Hold, Cougars!
Lower.
Hold!
All right. Ball in. Out.
Corrimal, stand up!
Go. One.
Lost that forward. Lost by Corrimal as well, mate.
Double knock on. Thirroul. Corrimal. Corrimal feet.
Hold with the far side, 5.
It's not my fault. All right, yeah, ball in. Out. Eight. Stand. Wait. Go. One. Out now. Hold. Go. 2. 17. Stand up. Oh, 3. Release. 4. Inside.
Good. Touch.
Held there.
Leave it there, boys. Leave it there. Make an effort, marker.
Hold.
On the mark.
Hold. Go 1. 18 away. Go 2. 10, you're off. Play on. Sorry. I should have called held, play the ball, tackle 2. Sorry, that's my bad. We're going to play the ball, tackle 2. All right, play the ball, 2. Mo, stand up now. 3.
Forward, forward.
It was forward before the tackle anyway. Back here, guys.
Yep.
There was a forward pass before the ruck. Back here, please. The pass is forward. There we go.
Hold, guys, hold. Hold with the far side.
All right. Ball in. Yeah. 7 away. 1. 10, stand up. Wait, go 2. Move! Hold, go 3. Twelve away! Hold 16, go 4. Into touch. Comes out here.
Boys, we're here. Where we want to be? Stay down here. No penalties, no earlier.
Make sure you stay on side here.
Hop off, trainer.
Seconds in, lock
Trainer. Mick, trainer.
Head in, go. Ball in, out.
All good.
Line up! Go 1. Thirteen away! Go 2. 18 away! No need to come back in there and push them back down. Alright, off you go.
10's good.
Alright, 9 away!
Off in 9.
Go 1. 18 stands! Go 2. Move now! 3.
11, 20, and 4 on the side, mate. Off well.
11, 24. Get on side.
Here's your 10, guys. Have a look. Back with me. Come back, guys.
Alright, when you're ready.
We're in front, Mick.
18, move away! Go 1. Luke, just play the ball. That's fine. Thanks, Greg. Yeah, I'm alright. Thanks.
Good score. Don't be happy. For 5 minutes. Doing well, Mick. Keep it up, buddy.
Yeah, a bit of a scrappy start. Second half.
Just don't go down to their left, bud.
Away! Go one. Move! Come on all the way. Go two. Play on this a bit. Oh. Sorry, we can't. Sorry, just we can't play on the tackle was complete. It's your ball, but we can't play on the tackle was completed because he's on the ground. Right. You know what? Your ball. Yeah. Hold three. I don't know. Is it? Fine. Hold, guys. Hold. All right. Ball in. Ball in. Yeah. Move! Up now, boys! Hold, go one.
13 and 8, 13 and 8.
Stand up! 13, you got to hold. Wait. Wait, go, that's better, 2. Hands off! 3. Hands off now! 4.
Take a line here, Mick. I've got the line.
Thanks, mate.
Hold this line here, guys.
Make sure you're on side. No head in. Ball in.
Hold it, boys. Just hold.
Yeah.
Go.
7, stand up now. Come on, 17. Come on all the way. 14.
Miles off this side. Not involved.
Come on.
9, stand up. Go. 2.
Check
Movement.
Make that right side.
Hold. Off you go, just take it back. No, come in. Alright, so I gave a very early and clear move call then. The players laid there and looked up at me and waited. So that penalty was for a slow rush, alright?
Yeah, but he looked, they used to give the call to get up.
I already made the call, mate.
A few seconds ago.
I already made the call for him to get up. He can't just lay there and look at me. The problem I have, though, is that I've got 3 or 4 blokes then after that penalty getting into me about my decision. Alright? Get him to be quiet.
Take it with me. That's it. About 4 metres past, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Get on side 5.
Go.
Good.
Move! Go, 1.
11 again. Early.
13! Let go! Hold here. Hold. Go, 2. Let go!
Good ball. Clear flop.
Flopped in. The tackle was made and you flopped in. All right, when you're ready.
10's good.
11! Stand up! 20! 14! 14! 14! 14! 20! Get on side. All right, Mo. Mo. Come here, mate. Within the last 5 minutes, all of your players have stopped listening to everything I've said, so have gone bang, 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 3 penalties. Tell them to fix it. If we have another quick one, they'll be sitting down straight away. They need to listen.
Hold the line, guys! Reway, boys. Hey.
All right,
Come
when
back
you're
here,
ready.
boys. On the line!
Yeah, that's on the line. That's on the line.
All right, mate. Move to one side, guys, please. Good chat, Nick.
On the line. Thank you. Thank you.
Particularly between those same offenders and 24, 24.
But yeah, that's fine. They just stop listening. I said we've got to keep listening to me. Yeah. Otherwise, if we have another quick one.
Right, put out my don't run over you. Come over there or over there. That's it. The way this guy curves it, we could be running anywhere. Yep, now. Down. Beautiful. All right. Guys, can you all outside the fence, please? Move all the way outside. All right, play on.
11!
Hands off the ball.
Go, 1. Stand up! Hold! Hold! Go, 2. Release! 3. Held now! 4. Last tackle! Mo, all the way, all the way! Go, both markers out.
Inside.
Outside.
Get back!
13! Stand! Hold. Go, 1. Luke now! Here and wait. Go, 2. Movement!
Boys, hold it back.
Middle weight, Luke, wait! Hold! Go 3. 18. That's a peel. You went 1, 2, 3. Get up together. Just make sure Matt's behind you. All right, there we go.
Down here, matey. That's it.
Yeah, I got it. You need to, if you want time off, you got to be down, mate.
Up to Mick. Wait.
No.
Wait.
Back there. All right, off you go. Go.
Yeah.
Ten, spin. Go 1. 11. Move all the way.
3.
Hold. Go 2. Off 1.
Halfway between, got 15 metres out.
Thank you. All right, thrill feed.
Okay, quick start, let's do this.
Come back, guys. Have a look. Good. Give a good look. 3.
Wake up.
Go, Mo, head in.
Clear hold.
All right, ball in.
Off the field, guys. Go.
Don't work and get up. Here to me. 15. That was 1. 2. Wait 6. Go 2. 17. Release. Go 3.
Left side.
Go now. 4. 4. Yeah. No, it went down first and then it went back. That's it. Thanks, mate.
Long day. Some more to go here, mate.
Wait, Jack.
You
You
are.
go tell the boys we're in the lead now for the week before the game, alright?
It'd be read for a different week. Do you reckon I might walk well for a week if it goes where I think it's going?
Doing a good job, Kenny.
How's the legs?
They're getting heavier and heavier.
That's probably really good to you, reminded him.
I just thought I'd ask.
I was already thinking about it, mate. So.
Yeah.
Stay behind. Guys, stand up. Here and wait. Go 1. Move. Here to me. Hold. Go. 2. Release Nelson! Wait. Go 3. Let go! Let go! No, you're diving forward. That's 4. Good. Fine, still 4. That's all fine. Last tackle! Up now, up! Don't crowd him! Can you grab this pass, mate? I'm going to go around the back, mate. Yep.
Do shortcuts, mate.
Wait there, 12.
Weighty boy.
No, head in. All right, ball in.
Give it here.
Out.
Go. Yeah, we're good.
Yep.
Stay through the dead ball.
Good. For sure.
Yep. Oh, that one worked out in your favour, Mick.
Sorry?
That one worked out in your favour.
Yeah.
Little ankle breaker. Yeah.
I was never going to take the shortcut. I was definitely going to go the long way. Yeah, I'm right, thank you.
Mate, if you believe that, I've got to have a bridge. I'm doing a good deal on it.
Couldn't have said anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, outside the fence, please. All of it. Outside the fence, boys. Boy, it's there. Stay outside.
Stay behind. Move, turn. 1. Stand! Come on, 15. 15. Go, 2. What's ball?
What's 9, mate?
Yeah.
Just give him a bit of a shove.
Yeah. All right, Corrimal ball.
Go. Oh, with the far side, guys.
All right, ball in. Yeah.
Good.
Seven up.
Hands off.
Go
Just
1.
leave it 11.
Right. Held! Let go, nice and easy. 2. Stand up! Wait. Go 3.
Forward, mate. Yeah, you're on mark.
Jump here, little feed. Alright, ball in.
Guys.
Yeah.
Good.
Strike! Stand now! 13 all the way! Good mate, you're fine. That's one. Play on! Held now!
Hands off!
Stand up!
Hands off!
2. 6! Let go! 3. Block 4. Right. Alright, seconds in, locked in. Alright,
Hold,
ball
guys, hold.
in. Out. Eleven up!
Let's go!
Hold!
Take the
Go!
beat, get it!
1. 18! Stand!
Again, take the
Wait.
meeting!
Go
Let's
2.
go!
11! Stand up! 7, get on side.
He's hurt, mate, he's hurt.
Tackle 2.
Five. 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 There's no need for that language, mate.
Alright, play the ball, tackle 2. 20 stand! Go 3.
Clock hasn't restarted.
Stand up! Tackle now.
No,
Go 4.
Still stop.
Guys, there you go to restart that clock.
Yeah, it's gone.
It was off for 30
It's gone.
seconds.
It's gone.
Nothing on that.
Go on now.
Have a look what. Another step 5. Another step.
Oh, there, boys.
Alright. Alright, ball in. That. Come here. Corrimal feed. On the 20, please. Come on.
Pull it there.
Alright, ball in. Yeah. Move!
Boys.
1. Up you get now, Sting! Wait. Go three. Three run is fine. Held there! Four. Hands over that.
No. Field ball on the field there.
Wait.
16 on the line!
Ready.
16!
Nice and easy, up you get. Go. One. Knock on, field of play. Play again, see what we get.
Knock on!
Just come out here, to a feet.
Give it on.
Alright, ball in. Work from. Yeah, fine.
Black Heck near early, Black Heck near early.
No, we'll play through, mate. We'll play. Cougars up now! Go one. 15 away! Go two. No, now up! Go three, that's alright.
Hang on to it, Tommy!
Held there, four! Four.
Yeah. Go. Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah, we'll grab that one. Oh.
Thanks, mate. Cheers. Thanks, Mike. Cheers, mate.
Come on, buddy.
Right.
Thanks. Thanks, mate. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Cheek for Corrimal. Number 1, Thomas Garrido. Number 2, Jake Eccleston. Number 3, George Mike Tyson. Number 4, Tonga Chitongo. Number 5, Michael James. We have our captain, Jared Smith. Number 7, Thomas Maloney. Number 8, Ryan Power. Number 10, Tapiz Tofia. Number 11, Sebastian Blackett. Number 14, our captain again, Nathan Doherty. Please welcome to the field the Corrimal Cougars.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to sunny Zims Park for this blockbuster clash. It is the ladder-leading Corrimal Cougars hosting the Thirroul Butchers. It's a battle of the beaches. Huge crowd in here at Zims Park, and certainly there's been a buzz around this part of the Illawarra of late. The Cougars certainly the talk of the Illawarra Rugby League. I'm joined by Johnny Pett. Mate, great to be at Zims Park for a blockbuster, isn't it?
Oh, it's good, isn't it, Mitch? Look, the crowd's absolutely rolled in for this game. It is a top-of-the-table clash. You know, Corrimal 2 from 2, the Butchers victorious there in round 1 against Collegians, the bye last week. Look, I'm really excited for today's game. There is a big crowd here of Corrimal supporters, which is really good to see for the Cougars and for the local community. The Butchers out there today, they're donning the black armbands today. Sad news through the Butchers camp. Ben Lott, who played with the Butchers in 1997, come from Junee, had a big season with the Butchers, sadly passed away yesterday. So condolences to the Lott family from everyone here at Bar TV and from the Illawarra Rugby League.
Indeed, our thoughts with the Lott family, our condolences. The action about to get underway. Johnny, if you can, run us through the sides.
Yeah, for the Corrimal Cougars at fullback, Thomas Garrido. On the wings, Jake Eccleston and Michael James. The centres, George Tyson and Tonga Tongo. The halves, Jared Smith and Thomas Maloney. Jared Smith will skip at the side. The front row, Jack Gordon and Tapisi Torfa. And at number 9, Ryan Power. The back row of Seb Blackett and Nathan Doherty. James Horvath will lock the scrum, and they're coached by Sean Maloney. The Butchers, fullback Blake Higgins. The wingers, Hayden Crosland and Thomas Simpson. In the centres, Wayne Dargan, who's having his debut game for the club, will partner Callum Tatauer in the centres. The halves, Ryan Fletcher, Jake Walsh. Up front, Damien Siren and Jack Noble. The back row of Luke Dodge, Jay Gallagher and Mick Morris to lock the scrum.
And we are underway. Thomas Maloney providing the kick-off. And the Butchers now coming out of their own end. This is Luke Dodge back in the back row this afternoon. Has been playing in the centres. Back where he'd probably rather be. It's Damien Sirenin now taking it up through the middle, up over the 40. Some good progress early on in this set from the Butchers. Certainly coming in to this one with plenty of vigour. That's Gallagher over there on that side. He'll play it just shy of the Corrimal 40. Morris now takes it right up to the 30. So huge metres in this opening set for the Butchers. And Walsh just putting a neat little kick in there. Garrido going back for it. That might roll. And no, Garrido has to take it. It will be a line drop out there. I thought it might have run dead, but they pointed to the black dot. And what a first set, Johnny.
Well, if you want to start the game a 10 out of 10 set, that's the one we just witnessed there from the Butchers. Big metres up through the middle of the paddock through Siren and then Jay Gallagher. And a nice, absolute perfect kick there on the tail end for the 5'8" in Jake Walsh. A great first set for the Butchers.
They are deep in goals here. You can expect Jake Walsh to be trying to make the most of that. At least the one here at this end where we are is deep. I'm not sure if they're identical. The other end with the fence behind it might be a little bit shorter. That's right on the 6 metres. So we see Noble now finding his front. He's 8 metres out. Johnson at dummy half. Morris at first receiver. Tyson coming in. Well, there you go. Johnson, good shot there as well. So plenty of sting in this defence from the Cougars earlier, even if they are defending their own line here. Made to play it there, Noble. Johnson, flat ball there, and it's might have gone into a Corrimal player there. No, they're going to point to the spot, and that is the opening try.
Jack Noble there crossed the stripe first up early in the game, Mitch.
Yeah, it was Joel Johnson. Clever stuff there.
It was really good
Jono.
there. Wasn't it great from Jono?
He came in, he saw George Tyson came in, he really snuffed out that attacking raid. Put the great shot on there, and everyone was all pumped up about the shot, and Jono, he just sensed his opportunity to get in over the black dot. Another quick play the ball, and Jack Noble, the beneficiary there. He did well to reel that one in. It bounced off the chest, but he managed to take a diving forward slips, catch the ground that one, and score the opening try.
Yeah, nice front rowers try there from Jack Noble, but that man, George Tyson, we touched on him through the week, Mitch, about the aggression and what he brings to this Corrimal side, and that was just witnessed straight away early in the game. So we're seeing the intent from him and the defensive unit from the Collies. I tell you what, they're going to have to be up on their game on this left-hand side, the Butchers, if Big Tyson's just going to come over the line and smack them like that all day.
I'll tell you what, I was looking at it when I arrived at the ground. Obviously some changes to the Butchers lineup with Lukey Gallagher out of the back row on this side, Luke Dodge moving there. I was looking forward to that battle between George Tyson and Luke Dodge on this side. That's two blokes who will not back down.
No, it's going to be one that'll
that one.
It'll hit the replay reel, I reckon, a few times over the next week. I think we're in for a tremendous battle on this side of the field.
I'm sure they'll cross paths anyway. They'll
Oh,
find
definitely.
Don't you love the way that these well, we'll call them lunatics, seem to find each other on the field. You always love the big angry boys. They just seek each other out. We'll see that on this side there as the flags go up. Interesting, Jake Walsh with the kicking duties. Obviously, we touched on Luke Gallagher not being there on this side, Johnny. So, Jake Walsh, he'll be hoping he gets most of his kicks from that position throughout the afternoon.
Yeah, he's not going to let them one be waved away by the touchies there behind the goalpost all day. Lukey Gow got a great boot on him, a real sharp shooter, so they will miss him today, but good replacement in Walsh to pick up the scraps there while Gow's not in the side.
As Maloney sends this one deep. Sirinen coming in off the back fence. Steaming onto that one, Damien Sirinen. Some numbers in the tackle there, Horvath making the tackle. And he's not happy there, Damien Sirinen. He's got up and he's given away the penalty there. Absolute Cardinal sin there, Johnny, in possession. Not sure what it was in the tackle that seemed to rile Ciro up there, but he's come up off his mark and lashed out and handed the ball straight back off points. Jared Costello will not be happy with that one, especially from one of his senior players, Johnny.
Yeah, we talk about the coach killers each week in, week out, and that's a prime example of what one is on the back of points there. And Ciro, something must have happened there because it's not like him to really not get up and play the ball straight away, and he's pushed the defensive player over there of Corrimal and given away a very easy penalty, and the Cougars 20 metres out. Mitch, their chance here to strike back.
Back on the attack, that is Taupo. They come right to Smith. Got Doherty on his outside. Really the go-to edge for them in that win over Dapto last week for the Cougars. They came this side with Jared Smith often. Horvath. Maloney, a flat ball there for Blackett, but he put him under all sorts of pressure there, and he spilled the ball. So just a little bit disjointed early on. We are seeing perhaps some early intentions there, though, Johnny. We saw Horvath in the middle. Great skill as a ball player in that lock-forward position. And he's going from side to side, so obviously a plan this afternoon, Johnny, to move these Butchers forwards around.
Yeah, well, the big pack of the Butchers, they're going to have to play a bit mobile, Corrimal, if they want to go around them, but that's not the way to do it. They really need to earn their way down the paddock there and play the full set of six, what they've got on offer, because they can't be handing over the ball to the Butchers in any part of the field.
As the Tatawa now comes away from the scrum. Made to play it there, tackled by Smith and Tyson. This is Dodge. Dodge off his left foot. Doherty got called out by the referee there. Dodge pinching a couple of metres off the back of it. This is Sirinen now. He's just short of halfway. Johnson a dummy half. Walsh onto Gallagher. Tackled over there by Baby James. Taupo also involved. As is Tonga Tongo on that side. Morris, well tackled there by Doherty. Walsh, long ball for Tatawa, some early ball. He drops it on the toe, and it's taken a deflection. I don't know if it was played at. We'll see what the call will be.
I think we're going to get 6 again here, Mitch.
Gonna come back, it'll be a scrum feed. No,
No.
it'll go to Corrimal, not played at the call, but good to see over on that side, Callum to Tower. Just some early ball. You don't need to do much. You just need to give him some space, don't you, Johnny?
Yeah,
Let him do the rest.
well, we've seen it in the grand final last year, Mitch. He scored one of the all-time grand final tries. I think we're going to talk about that for a long time, that try. But the more early ball that Callum gets from his halves partnership there, he's just going to real so be beneficial for the Butchers. I'd like to see him in a lot of open space today, and he's going to have a bit more room over on that side today. I like him playing on that right-hand side edge.
Obviously, Tonga Tongo has moved into there. He was fantastic in the back row last week. For them is Eccleston now on this side. He's crabbing his way towards the sideline and well tackled there by Dargan on this side. His first defensive test of the afternoon on this edge. As Taufa takes the ball forward. 35 slow going in this set for the Cougars. All of it. Here he finds his front. Going to quick play the ball there. They'll get on the back of it through Gordon. Gordon's still trying to edge his way towards halfway. They won't put him on the ground. They go to Maloney, and Maloney hammered there by Siren, and that ball's gone straight up in the air. Not as deep as he would have liked. Tonga Tongo with the flick pass. Now Blacker driving the loose ball, still going backwards here. So Maloney will eventually get the kick in. And it'll roll down towards Higgins. Defenders all offside there. Gave him 10 to play on will be the call, but we just thought, we touched on it in the Taste of Steel podcast. Give it a listen, folks, this week, Johnny. That Tom Maloney might not enjoy the time that he had with the footy against Dapto last week, and we saw a sign of it there.
Yeah, I'd like to get even money. That's not the first time that Gallagher or Sirenen comes out of line and really puts some pressure on young Maloney there. He was a star last week. Last season, out with injury. He's looking for a big season this year.
That ball, marginal line ball. Sirenen, though, he gets the offload away. Johnson into the clear. He's looking for support. Garrido making the tackle. He was just looking for support there. He went through all alone. Absolutely on his pat there. Gallagher, second man over there for Higgins. Higgins on to Crosland on that side. Baby James making a good tackle over there. But we saw just the offload there from Sirenen. I thought the ball from dummy half might have been a tad forward. They certainly thought it at the Corrimal bench, but good defence over there on that edge on that occasion. They counted the numbers well.
It was a great defensive read there by Baby James out there on that picket swing. He had all right to come in there and really put pressure on the centre there before and could have left Hayden Crosland there unmarked, but he read it right there, and it was great to see. It's good to see when a winger holds his ground out wide. You know, it's been such an important position coming to the game the last few years, that wing position, what we've seen him do, the likes of Vunivalu and players like that, but a defensive read from a winger is sensational.
Might just be a message going out to the Butchers there. Joel Johnson, he plays up on the footy. He can really sense an opportunity. He went through there, but he was absolutely on his Pat Malone. The likes of Higgins, his half partner Fletcher, they were all back way behind the advantage line there, waiting for the next play. As they go wide, Tonga Tongo, the offload. Blackett coming back infield. Blackett to Power. Gordon now. Good meters there from the big front rower. And we just see after that start for the Butchers, just starting to get into this grinding of a match here. Corrimal were going to look to make it set to set. Need to against the Butchers. Maloney now in behind the line and some pressure on him again. Bouncing up for Higgins. And so Johnny definitely on that tip sheet. He's under all sorts of pressure there, Maloney as well.
Yeah, they're not going to leave him alone all day today, are they? He's really the number one kicking option for the Cougars. The Butchers know that. But just looking on this right-hand side, I'm just looking between Tyson and also Eccleston. They seem to be swapping over between centre and wing while they're in attack.
Yeah, they did a lot of that last week. We're going to see with the kicking there, perhaps the likes of Jared Smith will have to get his hands on the ball on those last tackles just to take some pressure away from Maloney. As we said, they're going to be all over him.
You could play as a good foil today, Maloney. They could look to go to him on the last, but they could go the other way or give it a short ball to run someone else because they're really going to come out of the line and put pressure on him.
Good contact first up there from Doc. You could hear that up in the commentary position. The boys ripping in this afternoon. Sirenen, second man there for Fletcher. Blackett coming outside in with the pressure. Gallagher off his right foot. Flat ball there for Morris. And An interesting one here. They said shoulder charge there.
Yeah, I think the hand on the ball as well while he's trying to play the ball there. So not the penalty they needed to give away there, the Cougars, especially 15 metres out. The Butchers really making good metres up the middle. It's
been a real source of frustration for Sean Maloney. Obviously, we mentioned there 2-0, going very well. If there was one thing he's really trying to hammer into his side, we see there, Fletcher just spills that one. And do you think he had a bit of a peek there at George Tyson on this occasion?
Oh, he had a big captain cook there at Tyson, screaming out of the line there. They're going to have to be wary of that today, the Butchers on this side. Tyson's going to really have to hold his nerve because these halves partnership of Walsh and Fletcher, they're not going to fall to that too many times. They're too smart for Tyson jumping out of the line.
Eccleston now coming away from the 30. Getting into that grind now, the Cougars. As I was saying, the discipline was a huge factor in that first up win against Berkeley. I think they gave away 5 or 6 first half penalties, the Cougars, and Sean Maloney wasn't happy with that at all. And last week against Dapto as well, as good as they were, discipline in that first half really let them down and kept Dapto in that game in the first half. So I'm sure we'll be getting the message out there, Sean Maloney, to tidy up in that area.
Time off here, Mitch. Doherty and Siren have just had a head clash there. The claret is absolutely pouring out of Doherty's forehead there, and Siren, he must have a head like steel. He just walked away from it.
Yeah, maybe he got the top of that dome, I don't know. But yeah, Doherty's in all sorts here. Corey with the interchange card here on the sideline might get injected straight into the action. Hopefully that's not too bad a cut. We'll see Doherty back this afternoon. He's an important man in this side, the skipper.
Yeah, he sure is. Tireless back rower Doherty, and really leads this Cougars outfit around the paddock so well.
So Corey is the man injected into the action. Much earlier than last week, but big Corey, the number 20, had a great stint when he did come on last week.
He's good, isn't he? He's low to the ground.
Bit of Mark Tukey about it.
Yeah.
As I said, yeah, great little bench stint last week. As we see Gordon now, the front rower, acting as a link man over there, creating some space from Blackett. And Tonga Tongo steaming onto that one. Squeezes every bit of juice from the apple on every carry, Tonga Tongo. Blackett. I say last tackle there, so again, the last tackle options really need to improve, Johnny, for the Cougars.
Oh, they sure do. They've really got to start getting the ball to Jared Smith on that last, or even Garrido look for the kick there, because Maloney is just really under pressure all the time, and they just really didn't know what to do on the last end. The Cougars are going to have to take that out of their game and have that last tackle options 5-star today if they're going to have a chance of coming over the mighty blue and white Butchers.
Johnson out of dummy half, the one marker. Ryan Power, his opposite number there, awake to it. Higgins now getting in off the back of that carry, crabbing his way over towards the right, wrapped up there by Tonga Tongo. Maloney also involved in the tackle. Gallagher still going. He's pulled up there on the 20-metre line. They go blindside last tackle. Walsh kicking back towards the post. He's looking for Higgins back on the inside. Beautifully worked play there. Walsh going right side back towards the post, and Higgins, Johnny, on the spot to score that one, Johnny.
Well, it was Melbourne Stormlight, wasn't it? Cronk and Slater there. The combination there, they just both knew exactly what they were doing there. And Blake Higgins scoring against his ex-team, the Corrimal Cougars there. We've seen Higgins last year lighting up the ground here at Zeems Park, and this year in the Butchers blue and white colours there. And a great try there from Higgins. Well orchestrated there, the whole set of 6 by the Butchers.
And again, it's those last tackle options there, poles apart at the moment. The grind in the middle, very evenly matched so far. Cougars have done well there to go set for set with the Butchers, but the polish on the end of the set's a huge difference. We saw first set of the match, Jake Walsh has had it on a string there, forced the repeat set for the first try. And there we see directly off the kick on this occasion, putting Higgins over for the second try. And maybe it's just because he has got the goal kicking duties this afternoon. He wants to make sure all the kicks are in front.
Yeah, you reckon there'll be no crossfield kicks to the wings? It's all going to be short play for Walshy today around near the goalpost there. But the Butchers, they're the best pack in this competition on paper. We've talked about that. If any team's going to match them up the middle, they're going to have to be 5-star on their day. And I feel the Cougars are matching them up the middle. I know on the fringes, Gallagher's making a lot of metres out there, but the tough and grind up through the middle has been about 50-50. It's been even between the Cougars and the Butchers.
12, Corrimal 0.
It is 12-0. 16 minutes gone. I suppose a mental hurdle here for the Cougars. They've been riding high, 2-0, leading the competition coming into this one, but playing the Butchers, last year's grand finalists, and heavy premiership fancies this year, was always going to be a step up. As we just see this little period, this next 5 to 10 minutes, Johnny, a key one in this half, because the Butchers, they know how to twist the knife. They'll be looking to put try on try here.
And they're a good grinding side, the Butchers, aren't they? They can really, as you said, they can put the knife into any team there. The Cougars are just going to have to put aside the first 15 minutes of this game and really, really knuckle down to rugby league, and that's not what they needed. That's exactly not what they needed. The Cougars giving away a very cheap penalty. And
Penalty
the kicking
game,
the kicking game of Fletcher for touch, like he'll make 40 metres here, and then the Cougars are really on the back foot.
As we see there, a huge touch finder. Right back on the back foot there, the Cougars, and referee Taylor Cleveney was all over that. They were all up in front of him. Just another penalty that is an attention to detail one, as Gallagher driving that one up. Gallagher still going Gallagher. Still going Gallagher. Eventually they dump him over on his front there. Blackett eventually halting his progress. Walsh back on the inside for Morris. Looking to count some numbers again, the Butchers. Up off the ground there, Morris. Plays it to Johnson. Fletcher. Long ball there for... I think it was Eccleston coming in there with that tackle. Beautifully read by the winger on this side. Dargan, the man, copping that shot. Morris. Walsh out there for Thirroul with some space. And the flick pass for Maloney and Crosland over there in the corner. And that was a beautiful flick pass, the Gidley flick on that side, Johnny. And Hayden Crosland scores one of the easier tries he'll score in the top grade.
Well, is that the Thirroul Butchers on the Newcastle Knights there? What a flick pass there from Thirroul there to find Crosland. But go back a little bit there. Big Jack Noble standing in the tackle there, getting one arm free and just getting that ball out. The Cougars players all fell asleep there. They thought Noble was all wrapped up. But the Butchers players in motion all day supporting each other. Well, it's all one-way traffic at the moment, Mitch, and let's hope we don't see from the Cougars what we've seen in previous years where they just fall into a slump.
Scored by number 2.
It is the mental battle. We're at 19 minutes gone in this half, so still plenty of time for the Butchers to drive home this advantage.
You'd love to be a winger outside to Thirroul all day, wouldn't you? The speed, the footwork, you just don't know what he's going to do there. You just got to hold your line out wide, and it's just going to be a try-fest.
It was well done there from Crosland too. You've got to know the attributes of your centre. And Thirroul, he likes the ball well before the line to go to work. You've got to have plenty of depth on the outside of him to make that pass available. Crosland did very well there. He scored in the corner. And we're seeing over on this edge, Tyson and Eccleston, they're coming up and trying to put some pressure on Fletcher. Dargan over there on this side. But I don't think Jared Costello will be too disappointed to see that, Johnny, as you touched on. They're going to go back there, making some decisions on this side, rushing up. Don't be surprised if we see a little kick in behind them, or a little trick shot, or someone like Johnson getting out from dummy half. Just trying to catch them away back on the inside.
Yeah, I was only thinking the same thing. I think Walsh or Fletcher are going to put a nice little kick.
Well, he makes light work of that one.
I tell you what, Lukey Gallagher, he
might
lose his job.
He's going to come back next week.
7, Jacob Walsh.
Replaced there, Walsh. He's nailed that one from the sideline, made it look easy.
Yeah, well, you're either going to see Walsh or Fletcher on this side when Tyson comes out of the line, put the little kick over the top there, or Joel Johnson dart out, shape the pass and go himself.
As we see Maloney with the ball on the tee to get us back underway. Johnson going back to field this one. He does. Noble taking that one up towards his own 20. Big set here defensively for the Cougars. As much as it's been a good battle in the middle there, Johnny, they made plenty of metres. The Butchers are getting good kicks on the end of their set. So in that arm wrestle just on top at the minute. Tower now coming in, and a little hit and spin there, and he goes into the clear, still going. Tonga coming to make the tackle. Tower appealing for a penalty, not forthcoming. Walsh, second man for Fletcher. Some numbers on this side. Higgins-Dargan with defender. Tyson making the tackle there with Smith. Fletcher onto Morris. Morris picked up there by Power underneath Corey over the top to finish that one off. And they'll go to Walsh. He's going to put this one higher. Tester for James on that side. Pressure coming through. And he's done very well on that side. James, he had to Tower and Crosland bearing down on him. Made it look easy in the end, Johnny.
Yeah, he sure did. It was good. Held his nerve really, really well there, James, out on that picket swing there. It's a bit of a windy day here at Corrimal. That ball was swirling around everywhere, and he had the pressure of Crosland and Simpson just chasing that bomb there from the Butchers.
As we see play just held up there, Tonga. He's picked up a bit of a knock. Hopefully it's just a cork. Haven't mentioned over on that side, he is in the centres. Ed Ansell, been fantastic on that left edge for the Cougars this season, but picked up a broken fibula last week in that win over Dapto, so a casualty from that one.
Prior to that injury, you were really impressed with Ansell, weren't you?
I was very impressed with what they had on both edges. They obviously come to Tyson and Eccleston on this side a fair bit, but his touches over on the other side, Ansell, were very, very classy, I thought. And a big loss over there on that side. He's done a lot of pre-season work there with Thomas Maloney on that side. Tonga on that edge. It was a potent edge for them, so a bit of a reshuffle over there on that side. Gallagher. He takes it up towards the 40, still pumping the legs, Gallagher. He'll play the ball now. No markers. Johnson is going to go, and that's a penalty every day of the week there, Blackett. He's crafty, Jono, isn't he?
Oh, how good is he? He just knows when to run each and every time there. And even if there's one marker there or no markers or a lazy marker, he gets it 100% right every time.
And now I haven't been keeping a strict tally on the number of penalties, but they're starting to stack up for the Cougars, really becoming their own worst enemy in that regard. As I said, it was an issue for them last week. Dapto didn't make them pay for it in the same way the Butchers are this afternoon.
Yeah, well, they can't give away too many because the Butchers will make them pay, and especially on the scoreboard. 18-0, 17 minutes to go. They just haven't been down the other end of the field for a very long time, the Cougars.
As we see a lofted ball there from Walsh. Crosland coming back infield. Maloney there making the tackle with Tonga. He's still hampered there, and that's another one. Ball coming loose. And the arm going up. It's all one-way traffic in that regard at the moment. Johnson taps it. Walsh dummies to Siren and finds Morris. Morris 8 metres out. Johnson, Fletcher, flat ball there for Gallagher and Smith making the tackle, and they'll say no knock on. And there we saw it though, they've gone second man. A few of the outside men have worn a shot from Tyson and Eccleston on this side, but they go flat there to dodge, and it very nearly came up trumps for them.
Yeah, it nearly did. It was a good one-on-one strip there from the Cougars. Dodgy, I thought he was through there. They hit the flat runner there. They fooled everyone to go out the back.
Did well there to skipper Jared Smith. We talked about the attention Tom Maloney might get. Luke Dodge, he's one of the best half spotters, spot men we see in this league. He will hunt out that vulnerable defender and find them 9 times out of 10. As Garrido now on the blind side. Been quiet this afternoon. Garrido hasn't.
Well, they haven't had the ball really.
He typically has.
They really haven't had the ball or the time with the pill. The Cougars of what they really would like. He's really going to chime in on the tail end of the number 6 and 7 here, Maloney and also Smith. That's when he's going to shine.
Horvath now on the 30. I'll tell you what, I think Butcher's lucky not to be pinged there with the penalty, and they would have loved to have seen the arm go up there. Corrimal, that's a good carry from Taufer, and a much needed one. Maloney onto Blackett. And so some forward momentum now for the Cougars. They've been starved of the footy, as we mentioned, but they go shorts off Maloney, and a clever play from Maloney. The kicking game, as we said, the fifth tackle options. Haven't quite got that right for most of the afternoon, but a nice play there from Maloney just to find touch and give his side a spell. They did pretty well there, coming out of trouble, having gone through a mountain of defensive work.
Yeah, smart play there from Maloney. Good set from the Cougars. They worked their way up the field there. Nothing fancy it was, but got to the last tackle there and put it over the sideline. Gives the Cougars a chance now to really resettle, get their defensive line set. They'll be wanting to hold the Butchers down in their own territory here, try and force an error and try and put some points on the scoreboard.
You've got to have the faith that those things will will turn, Johnny. Momentum has been all against the Cougars here. The penalties stacking up. But in rugby league, it's a strange game, and things do turn. You will get your shot. It will come back your way. You've just got to absorb, as they say.
How many times have we seen that half-time break or a break in play really hamper the team that's behind on the scoreboard? It's Cooper Purcell onto the field for the Butchers.
Dargan hit there by Smith, Horvath as well. Dargan will play it. Simpson. Tackled there by Horvath and Smith again. And now Johnson again just starting to probe out of dummy half. This is usually where he does pick his moments, this 15 minutes before half-time. Noble now, bumping his way forward. 35 metres out now, the Butchers mounting another raid. Morris. Taufer over the top there, dumps him on his back. Last tackle, Walsh to the right of the ruck. He's going to put this one high again. It's another tester for James on that side. And that one, he's lost it in the sun, I think, and I think they've all missed it. They'll say, no, it got a touch. And so it will be a Butchers scrum feed. We said he made the last one look easy on that side, but I think that went up and he's just lost that somewhere and he went all around it.
He's had two very important plays out there. The last kick over there he took nice and clean. He forced Crosland out over the sideline earlier on in the half. That time, just the sun in the eyes. Couldn't really read the kick due to this wind here, but the Butchers, 10 metres out, they'll feed the scrum. Just by looking at how they're set out here to the left, Mitch, something is on, and I've got a feeling they're going to score off this play, just the way they're set up.
Again, it's the kicking game. It's just where they're building the pressure off the boot of Walsh. And here's a bit of a trick shot there.
Not with George
all
Tyson.
over that one. Oh, Johnny, you put the mock on him there.
I sure did.
I think you owe Higo a beer on that one. I think something's coming on this one. And there's another good shot. So Corrimal turning it on defensively. Morris, Walsh, and he's hit there by Blackett over the top. Good shot there from the back rower. So the Cougars, they're not going to surrender easily here. And another one. Big contact from the Cougars. No markers though. Johnson's going to go off his right foot. He'll play it Purcell at dummy half. Long ball for Fletcher. He's put that kick in behind. Tyson going back to get that one. And it's fallen into the hands of Dargan. So here's the try, and it's what we've spoken about all afternoon, Johnny. We were wondering how long it was going to be until we saw the kick go in behind there. Tyson, he read it well. He got up there, but the bounce had just leapt up on him.
Try scored by
And Dargan, Johnny, on the spot to score there.
Yeah, well, he's off the nudie run, Dargan here. First game in Butchers colours, and he gets himself a meat pie there. It was coming. You could feel it was going to come there. But the defensive display there from the Cougars, you've got to give them credit. There was a couple of great one-on-one shots there that they really come out of the line and put their body on the line and really whacked the Butchers there. But Ryan Fletcher, how crafty and smart is he? He just took it to the line, a nice little deft kick off that left foot, and it just come up in the arms of Dargan.
It's just the experience we've seen in this Butchers side now. They've been the grand finalists last year, had a lot of guys together, and they love the arm wrestle. They'll cop the shots and just stick in their rhythm, keep sticking to what they're doing, and come up with the points there at the end there. We just saw plenty of the Corrimal boys there behind the try line on their haunches. It's been tough going. They're going to look up now, and you would think Jake Walsh about to knock this one over and make it 24-0, 11 minutes before the break.
Hope you haven't mocked him here, Mitch.
Yeah, well, you know.
We're both pretty good at doing that.
I'm known to put the mock on. But I'm backing him in here.
Yeah. No matter what the score is going to be today, I tell you what, there's going to be a couple of Butchers players here that are going to finish this game and know they've been in a game of football. Just the intensity and the physical battle that's been happening out there on the field.
As Walsh does knock that one over.
Conversion
Survives
attempt.
the Mitch Jennings mock.
Conversion attempt successful.
Aren't a lot of players who have in the
Thirroul
past.
24, Corrimal 0.
And as you say, Johnny, 24-0. It's not an indication of the physical contest we've seen. It's completely an indication of the composure the Butchers have shown at the end of their sets and just that little bit of class from their key men.
They've probably had about 70% of possession as well, which has been on the back end of a couple of errors there from the Cougars, and also a lot of ill discipline from the Cougars. They've given away so many penalties, and that's allowed the Butchers to march down the field and put points on the board. But if they can show as much enthusiasm in attack as what they are in defence, there's points in this team.
Maloney now putting this one high in the air. Johnson coming forward to field that one. And Noble bringing the ball back. 10 minutes before the break. Butchers just sensing some blood in the water here. They're up 24-0. A huge mountain to climb already, but more points here, Johnny, absolutely just puts this one to bed.
Yeah, it sure does. I think if the Cougars can hold them out here until the half-time break there and regroup in the sheds and come out in the second half, they can probably fight their way back on the scoreboard here. But another try before half-time, you know, it could be lights out for the night for the Cougars.
As we see Johnson at dummy half now, played by Dodge. Purcell. Nice little running behind the ruck there from Purcell. He's up towards the Cougars 40 last tackle. Walsh. Orbit pressuring him. That one's a spiral. That's gone 1,000 miles into the air. And Garrido, though, he's just made that look easy in the end. That was swirling around everywhere.
It's come down with snow on it.
He might have even wanted to let that one bounce and run dead, but cruises over to a Garrido and steams onto that one from the 20-metre restart as well. So nice work there from the Cougars, number one. And I think we're going to need to see here the first one. And there's the penalty. And a bit of a cheer there. And he's tapped it and gone, Garrido. No. It looked like the referee was going to let him keep playing there, referee Taylor Cleveland, but he'll come back and say didn't tap it on the mark. It's a frustrating one, isn't it? You say, well, he's gone for the quick tap, and he's been sent back to tap it from where he tapped it from.
Well, I thought at first Garrido was going to get pulled up, and then Taylor Cleveland sort of looked at him and thought, nah, off you go, and then thought, no, I better blow the whistle here.
Orbit with the touch by. Now the first penalty for the Cougars in quite some time there.
They needed that penalty. They really did. They're into a very strong headwind, so they're going to have the wind with them in the second half, which will give their kicking game a lot more effort there. But they just got to get their way out of their own half here. They've got to get in the Butchers' territory and complete a set of 6.
It's Corey now taking the ball forward. I want to see the back 5 of the Cougars get involved here. The men in the middle have done a mountain of defensive work. Maloney, inside ball there. The Cougars finally seeing this end of the park. They've barely been over halfway, at least with the football. As Taufa now. Big minutes from the big man. Taufa, he hasn't had a spell. They've had plenty of work to get through in the middle. So certainly showing his worth. As Blackett, still going Blackett. For the first time in this opening 40 minutes, we're 8 minutes to go. The Cougars with a chance to mount something here. They'll love to be able to peg at least one of those points back. The long ball for Tyson, some space. And well tackled underneath there by Dargan. Smith. It's the last tackle. I don't think he realises it either. And that will be a limp end to that set, Johnny, again. That last play on the end of the set. Cougars found wanting on that one. 4
tackles there were sensational for the Cougars. The halves combination there, Maloney and also Smith, they combined there. They got the ball out there to Tyson out on the fringe there, but it was good defensive effort from Dragan to stop him from crossing over, because it could have been a try there. But just Jared Smith there, he really needed to put that one on the boot there. A lack of communication between the 9 and the 6 there really put a damper on the tail end of that set.
It's just the difference. It's been absolutely the difference this afternoon. As much as the Butchers have had so much of the footy, they've earned their share of the footy, they've earned the repeat sets, they've got on the back of penalties with momentum. As Tyson, he's coming up there looking for a shot. Fletcher off his left foot. Tackled there by Horvath. No markers. Johnson straight through the middle. Johnson, he's looking for support. He goes off his right foot and well tackled there by Tyson. It might have just crept up slightly. And now he's gone grabbing at the knee there, Tyson.
Tell you what, if this is a bad injury to Tyson, this will be a big shame for him as well as the Corrimal Cougars here. He's really clutching at that right knee. Look, he'd be a loss, Mitch, wouldn't he?
Oh, some huge nervous moments here for Sean Maloney. We said Ed Ansell, his other centre, he's already lost him last week.
He'd have no fingernails left, Maloney, would he, there in front of the dugout in front of us.
You see, he's there on his haunches looking at this one. Tyson, he gestured straight to the bench and straight at that knee. I don't know if he has a history of knee problems or...
Look, the arm's up for the trainer here. This isn't good.
Straight up, so it doesn't look good at all for Tyson.
What a shame.
It was absolutely an issue for them last year. The Cougars, they rebuilding, haven't really got a huge amount of depth when it comes up in the first grade ranks there, so injuries can bite hard. And Tyson made a try over there on Johnson. But again, he's fighting those dead ants now, Jono, isn't he? They're seeing some tired bodies left on the deck after a quick play the ball, and Johnson having a field day in the middle there.
Yeah, the fitness of the Butchers, it is just 5-star here on offer at the moment there. And Johnson, he's done it again as he does week in, week out. There was no markers in front of him. It was only a last-ditch effort there from Tyson to stop him from scoring a try, and not good signs here for the Cougars import, is it?
No, he's very gingerly come off. It doesn't look good from here, that knee either. This will be Bryant, number 18, coming on to replace him here in the centres. He's going to come onto the wing there, and Eccleston will move to the centres. Familiar with that position, Eccleston. He played there with Berkeley last year and did very well, very dangerous for the Eagles last year. And the kick in behind and his first assignment there, Brian, he does well, takes no chances and bats that one dead.
Yeah, Brian Tino, they're just knocking it over the dead ball line there, so he's straight onto the field there and straight into the action, but the class there from Ryan Fletcher, just that nice deft kick there, just first class from the Butchers,
yeah,
number 6.
Play. They've just lost Tyson on this edge. He went straight back there. Straight back there, puts the kick in behind. No rush to get this back underway, Maloney, as he sends that one down for Walsh to field it. The Butchers 20 metres out, dead in front of the post. 5 minutes to go here, looking to land that killer blow. Fletcher, flat ball there for Dodge. Smith making the tackle there with Eccleston. Fletcher back on the inside there for the number 15. Walker. Jake Walker will play it. Johnson, flat ball there for Purcell. Looked like some good online defence there from the Cougars, but Purcell has crossed next to the post. Right next to that right hand upright. And it was Johnson again just probing out a dummy half, Johnny, and finding the man for the try next to the post.
Yeah, too smart, Joel Johnson. If you're going to, we talked about it during the week, Mitch, about picking a team in this Illawarra side. You'd have him at your number 9 every day of the week there. He just knew that in front of him the Cougars were lacking a bit of eagerness there on the goal line there, and he just put young Cooper Purcell over the try line there. Purcell, still a little bit of work to do there. Just shrugged off the Cougars defender there and scores his first try of the day. And with Tyson off the field now, Mitch, the Butchers 28 in front, possibly be 30 if Walsh can put this one over the green dot. It's going to be a long day for the Cougars.
It is. Half-time can't come quick enough. It's still 4.5 minutes away. They've just done everything so well this afternoon, Johnny. They came here, Corrimal obviously flying high. They're 2-0. There's a big crowd here, as we mentioned. Biggest one we've seen here in quite some time. They've been the talk of the Illawarra League. They came in here with their tails up and full of confidence, but from the opening set, Johnny, the Butchers have done such a good job of just taking the crowd out of it, taking the moment sting out of it, and just running things like clockwork.
Well, you touch on that first set. We'll go back to the first minute of the game. They made 70 metres in that first set they had for the day, so you could see the intention straight from the opening whistle that the Butchers were here to mean business today. It was, in a way, it was going to be a game that the Butchers, it'd have to be a bit wary about it. Local derby, Cougars flying, Butchers coming off a bye, but they've really been up for the challenge today.
Yeah, that experience certainly showing. As we said, it had a big game feel, obviously, for the Cougars. Just another game, regular season game for the Butchers going about their business, but they've tried the short kick-off there, and maybe they just needed to. You have to think the Butchers, any more time with the footy, they're going to be looking to put points on, and they're going to try to peg it back here for the Cougars. Be huge with 3.5 minutes left if they can just grab some points and put a little bit of a dent in this lead before the break. That across to Eccleston. Eccleston off his right foot. He goes in and away, and a good tackle made there by Fletcher. Corey now on to Smith. Doherty with that head bandaged. He'll play it, a quick one. Will slow it in the end. He found his front, but told to play the ball there for Cleveland. Maloney, a long ball out there for James, and that's gone straight into touch, so that's sent again towards the back end of it, just getting away from them, Johnny.
Yeah, it's that new combination. We've seen it work so well last week between Smith and Maloney, but today I just don't think it's got what it had last week. Last week they really played well off the back of their forwards going forward and them just creating a bit of magic out wide, but they just seem to be a little bit flat this week. What are they going to do at half time here, Mitch?
Doing that many tackles, I think it's going to make you flat.
They've got to be gassed.
I think at half time it'll be a pretty simple message from Maloney. We've got to get through our sets. Got to stop giving away the penalties, which has been huge. I think more than half the Butchers' tries have come off the back of back-to-back sets through penalties. There's Dodge now. Tackled there by Horvath. Walker. Hit there over the top by Taufa. Horvath and Smith also involved. Walsh. Dummies on the inside to Gallagher. To Tower with some space, and Blackett closing that gap very quickly. Johnson on the blind side. He's going to put that kick in behind, and it just takes a bit of a deflection there off Tonga Tongo. We'll just see what the ruling will be. And I'll say another deflection not played at, so a scrum feed to the Cougars.
Right call there, Mitch. Right
Yeah,
call.
Johnson's gone on the blind side there. It's probably the first little trick shot, easy option they've taken for the whole half. They've been pretty good in that regard, but Johnson just on the blind side there, and a stacked defensive line. Garrido also looming at the back, so not the best kick of the afternoon, but that'd be pretty good. We'll give him a pass on that one with a minute to go before half time.
Well, it's taken them 39 minutes here to make a bad option, so you've got to be happy with that if you're Jarrett Costello.
Eccleston dumped on his back there by Morris. Purcell also involved in the tackle. Taufa up over the 40. Again, you've got to give him a rap, Taufa, don't you, Johnny? He's been, for a big man in the middle who's had to go through plenty of work, really put some sting into his carries, and a penalty that I'll say offside. So 35 seconds left. Eccleston with the quick tap. He's going to take them on. They're allowed to go this time. He'll play it, and the Cougars, they're just looking to pinch some points in the shadows here of half time. The offload there at Horvath will play it. Maloney in a dummy half. He's looked left to Tonga Tongo. Skips away from Tatawa. Comes back infield. Still going Tonga Tongo. He'll play it. And they'll go short side Horvath. Onto Blackett. Blackett off his left foot. So just getting their tails up slightly here, the Cougars. On half time, they'll get one last crack at some points here. The kick in behind Maloney, and well, there was just no chase there at all. No communication. Again, the end of the set just falling away awfully there, Johnny. The kick in behind, and there wasn't a Cougars player within a bull's roar of it.
Everything they done last week, they did so well. This week, they seem to have left it at Dapto Showground because all those good things, those little 1% things they've been doing so well in rounds 1 and 2, they've seemed to lost that in today's game.
Well, there it is, 30-0 the score at half-time. A very, very polished
Good afternoon,
40 minutes
welcome to St.
from Thirroul, and the Cougars going to the sheds with it all to do to get back into this one. We'll be back with all the second half action in just a little while.
With
Welcome back to Zims Park as we just see some of the juniors making their way from the field. Isn't it good to see, Johnny? I love, the under-6s all getting on there to have a bit of a half-time run.
Yeah, it's unreal. It's got that real local footy feel about it, doesn't it? It's like when you're a kid and you were just running around watching the local first grade and everything. You were allowed on the field. You could do it in the NRL back in the days. And I like to see that back in the NRL, at the full time, everyone runs on the field. It's just got that feel. As a kid, there was nothing better than running onto the field and playing a bit of footy at half time and then still being out there while the big boys run on.
Indeed, they do that at the new Bankwest Stadium. We were both out there for games last week, Johnny. They do that. They give you the warning. It's a bit, it's a bit inauthentic. They go, wait for the second siren, but they do get to go on. That's great to see because it's a hell of a stadium out there.
Well, mate, I went onto the field there on Saturday and I even got goosebumps, 36 years of age, so imagine the kids out there.
It's a hell of a stadium. It is a hell of a stadium. They get on the ground and we see a few of the youngsters still making their way from the park. We said at the top of the call, Johnny, a big crowd here. It's two of the clubs that have a very active old boys network. So yeah. the hill at both clubs always full and full of banter.
I tell you what, they've got the edge over the Butchers here, the Cougars with their old boys bar over there. Look at it, it's like a big triple garage there. The boys are piled in there. They're slamming the cold tins down.
Indeed, they are. There's Garrido now bringing this one back. So all to do for the visitors, Johnny, but I'm sure the message would have been from Sean Maloney, we're not going to score a 30-point try here, guys. We need to just start putting some sets together, getting to our kick, getting a good kick on the end of them, and just start working their way back into the contest from there.
They've got to start well here, the Cougars. It's got to start from this first set. They really need to hold the ball, and then on the last look for a good kick from Maloney or even Smith. They've got the wind at their tails this half, so I expect a bit of a better showing from the Cougars in this second 40.
Taufa now up towards the 40. Was outstanding for them in that first half, as we said. Horvath now out from dummy half from inside his 40. And it might have run there. I think it was that from inside his 40, Johnny, or they just snuck outside?
Look, it was right on that red line there. I think through the referee saying he was outside his 40, and yes, the hand's gone up that way, but there would have only been a blade of grass in it. Tommy Simpson's going to have to be really on his game out there on that left-hand wing because the kicks are going to go all day down that side.
Regardless, what a good set for the Cougars to start there. And Horvath, I like seeing some initiative there from Horvath. I gave him a rap in that Taste of Steel podcast that we gave a little plug to a little bit earlier. He was great for them last week, and we spoke about the pressure Tom Maloney's been under on the last tackle. Gets into dummy half and finds touch with that kick.
So the Butch,
after perhaps a bit of a talking to, they've come out there and put together a pretty good first set.
The Butchers' first set in the first half, it was 10 out of 10. I tell you what, the Cougars one there wasn't far behind it.
Yeah, we'll give that one a 9. To Tower now take it up towards the 30. And there was a bit of a knock on there. So to Tower, I did thought there'd been a bit of a bobble. So just an early opportunity here for the Cougars. If they can put points on quickly, they'll start to think they can at least make a game of this, Johnny.
Yeah, well, they really need to put it on the board early here. 30 points behind, 38 minutes to go in the game. They're going to have to do it now if they want to crawl their way back into this game. They're a different-looking side in this second half. I know we're only gone for 2 and a bit minutes now, but that first set from the Cougars was the best they've had all day.
Who was we see from the base of the scrum now? They go to Tonga Tongo. Off his left foot, tackled there by Tatawa. Forward at dummy half. Maloney, was a tough one for him to take. He reels it in the end. Blackett now up towards the 20. Tackled there by Morris and Gallagher. Horvath at dummy half again. Doherty. He'll be made to play at 18 metres out. Maloney there onto the right, links with Smith. And Smith a bit of a shimmy away to the outside before he's dragged down over there by his opposite number, Ryan Fletcher. To Maloney. Flat ball there for Doherty out in front of him. Some numbers here on this left side. They'll need a quick play the ball. Last tackle. And to Maloney. And a bit of a swift play there from Garrido. He goes off his left foot. He's still looking for the offload. Tonga Tongo now. And it is the last tackle. I don't know if they were aware of it there. Get a little bit of a trick play on the last. I don't know if they were aware there.
Yeah, they tried the trick play there, just a little bit of a wrap around there on the short side there, but not that bad really, that result from the Cougars, as long as they defend and D up really strongly here in this set of 6.
Yeah, I don't think Sean Maloney will mind that one too much. He might have liked to see him try to roll it into the in goal, but see another Cougars player down in back play there. I think it's Seb Blackett.
It is.
He's clutching at a knee as well, so After coming out with their tails up, the momentum just stalls a little bit. Tyson already a casualty this afternoon. And Seb Blackett, he'll be a big loss as well if he has to come from the park. He plays the 80 minutes out here on this edge. And that depth certainly going to be tested. He looks in a world of pain here, Blackett.
Let's just hope he's crawling around real bad here. He's in absolute agony at the moment. They're clutching at that ankle or that knee.
I think it might be the ankle they're looking at. Maloney there just seeing to his teammate as well. And just the stalling of the momentum. There's a bit of a challenge as well, Johnny, for the Butchers. We talk about the mountain the Cougars have in front of them as well. To come out, you've come here, you've produced a near faultless 40 minutes. And you come out for the second half up 30-0. It's very easy for some tardiness to creep into your game. So I'm sure that's a challenge Jared Costello will be looking at his guys to meet to keep it going for the 80 minutes.
Yeah, they can really fall asleep here. It is dangerous being that far in front, coming out in the second half. You can really go both ways. You can fall asleep, go into a hole, or you can keep your foot on the accelerator and just go for gold there in that second half, as we see Blackett up on his feet, so a good sign there. He's in an absolute world of pain here, just hobbling off. That's two that's come off today now, Mitch, for the Cougars.
Yeah, right in that part of the paddock too.
Yeah.
So
You've got to feel for Sean Maloney. You've really got to feel for Sean Maloney. The hard work that he does in this off-season, the last few years, 2 from 2 the Cougars this season, and it's just been an absolute injury-ravished team the last couple of weeks, hasn't it? Ed Hansel last week, Tyson off earlier in the game, and now Blackett.
Warimu Peters is the man coming on the number 16 as the replacement. Just another bitter pill there for Maloney, the coach, to lose Seb Blackett. And we said what the chatter would be at halftime for the Cougars, Johnny, because it's been so good to start the season. They've come up against a red-hot Butchers who, as we said, that first 40 minutes, really hard to find any fault with it at all. That 40 minutes they produced would be testing every side in this competition.
Oh, that was clinical.
So they've come out now, 40 minutes to go in this one, the Cougars. They've got Helensburgh next week. So they've got to use this 40 minutes to try to just refine some of the form they've had over the opening rounds of the competition and perhaps take some impetus into that clash. And of course get themselves back into this one. Johnny, there's still so much time. We don't want to completely put a line through them yet, although we might be able to if the Butchers can make use of this set and add points to that tally. Morris takes it up over the 30. Numbers on the short side. Go there they will. Fletcher. Over there for Simpson. Simpson in off the chalk. And last tackle there, turnover. So this time it's the Butchers not making the right play on the last. We gave them such a big rap for the way they handled their last tackle plays in the first half, Johnny, but that one they'd like to have over again.
Yeah, definitely, especially the experience of Fletcher and Walsh there. It's uncharacteristic of them on that last tackle there just to take the wrong option. I suppose they were trying to chance their arm there a little bit and try and bust through that right-hand side defence of the Cougars.
Tell you what, with that sun there, you'd think you'd want to put the ball up high, wouldn't you? Over on that side.
Yeah, well, that's why Tommy Simpson's going to have to be on his mark today. The wind behind the Cougars' back, the sun is glaring down on that eastern side, so expect both wingers out there to really be put under pressure in this second half.
Taufa taking this one forward. Plays it to Horvath. Horvath, this time he is inside the 40, and he's been found out there. It might have gone out on the full, so Horvath, he just went there looking for a good play. It was one he almost nailed a couple of rucks early. He was just over the 40-metre line. That time he made doubly sure he was behind the red line, and that was out on the full, but only fractionally, Johnny.
Yeah, well, I really like Horvath getting into number 9 here, and they seem to be lifted that little bit. No disrespect to Ryan Power. He's a very good number 9 in his own right, but Horvath, he's just brought that extra bit of energy around the ruck for the Cougars, and that kicking game, especially with the wind behind his back, he's going to pull one of these off very shortly.
Mate, I could hear Jacko from the sideline there after they'd watched that side. Just reminding Tommy Simpson over on that edge, he needs to be awake over there.
Yeah, well, Mitch Bates out there running the water as well as Couchy. I'm sure the message would be over there already.
Dargan over there on that side. He'll be made to play at a metre in from touch. Simpson onto Fletcher. Finds Dodge. Dodge still driving his way forward. Fletcher now. Dummies on the inside twice. Walsh, flat ball there for Gallagher. He's going to take some stopping there, but Peters, the new man on the field, makes a good tackle there. Had to be made. Last tackle, short side. And Johnson, he's put that in before and might have come off to Tower there. No, referee Taylor Cleveland's going to point to the spot. And a clever kick there from Johnson at dummy half. James, he read it well. He was all over that, but he just missed it a little bit with the bat back. I actually thought he might have knocked that into Tower there on that side.
Crosland comes up with his second there, so just on the spot at the right time here. Playing outside to Tower, you're always going to get options to score tries there. A nice kick there from Johnson into the in-goal line there. Just too smart there. Notice the defensive line really rushing up there, and he's just put the kick into the line. James, he's been a bit rocks and diamonds today. He's had two good plays. He's just come up with his second mistake for the day, and those two mistakes he's made have been crucial because the Butchers have scored after that both times.
Interesting one too. We just see Johnson has come from the field there, so he might be getting a very early mark. Well, you got from Coach Jared Costello there. Jay Gallagher also coming from the park.
Well, you've got Cooper Purcell. He'll go into dummy half, and a very, very good number 9 in his own right. We've seen him come through the Dragon system there over a number of years, and he led that under-23 side so well this year for the South Coast Dragons. So he's back in the Butchers blue and white. And also it looks like big Jake Walker onto the field, another debutant for the Butchers. So Jacko just starting to use some of those fringe players that, being this long season we've seen over the years, you've really got to use these fringe players. It's a brutal season, this Illawarra Rugby League, so you've got to look around to your depth.
Yeah, it is smart, you would say there, Johnson. I know Jared Costello, as Jake Walsh makes light work of the kicking duties there again. He's got a big rap on Cooper Purcell, Jared Costello, as do most people who watch him go about his work. So a chance here to give him some quality minutes he might struggle to give him through the year.
If any other club in the Illawarra, he'd be a starting number 9. You're behind the best number 9 in this competition there, and good for Jacko just resting Joel Johnson here, letting Cooper Purcell have some minutes. I expect him to be as destructive as Joel Johnson has been today.
That was a tough one for the Cougars, Horvath. It was the right play and the execution off by a fraction. And the Butchers again punished them for that mistake. Hopefully Horvath doesn't drop his head there too much. As I said, right play, just the execution off by a matter of millimetres.
I'd like to really see him try that a number more times because he's going to get it. And you're behind on the scoreboard by 36. You've got to do something.
There's that man Purcell just pinching 15 metres out of dummy half there, tackled by Peters. Walsh now onto Sirinen. Sirinen's still going. It looks like he's given Damien Sirinen a bit of a stint on the edge here. Got the number 8 on his back, but he's come out onto the right edge.
You got Walker up front.
Man. So just tinkering with things there, Costello. Walsh, he's going to put this one high under pressure from Horvath. James, he's going to go up for that one. The back there from Crosland, and again from Sirinen to Tower. He's got Noble. He's supporting Higgins up the middle. Higgins, he's just lost his feet there. Keeping the ball alive, Walsh. Walsh still going. The Cougars' defence good enough to deny him there. The bounce of the ball hasn't really gone the Cougars' way this afternoon, Johnny, but finally just a little bit there, and the defence good enough to just keep Walsh out on that occasion.
Yeah, good scrappy defence from the Cougars. Walsh, if he had his time over again, he would have thrown a long pass out here to Crosland, but the bat back from Crosland, just that hot potato football from the Butchers, they're sky high in confidence.
When you've got the momentum, the ball just does seem to bounce for you. And we've seen that there. Bryant in off the wing for a carry there to help his big men out in the middle. Eccleston now getting on the back of it as well. He's got Tonga Tongo in support. And Eccleston, he's created a little bit of space there for James, but it's forward, and just an interesting play there from Eccleston. He came right in off his edge there to get his hands on the ball and take some pressure off his forwards, but just turned playmaker a little bit there at the end, and poor baby James over on this side just got found out a little bit in front of him.
Yeah, he sure did there, and Eccleston, he's not the playmaker for the team, but he had to do that duty then. He really, the Cougars have got to step their way back here and really let their 6 and 7 create a bit of magic as they have been the last couple of weeks here. It's been a tough day here at Zims Park for the Cougars already. 36-0, 28 minutes remaining. I'd really like to see him put at least a couple of points on the board, Mitch, just to get a bit of that confidence back that they've had the last few weeks.
Dargan, the flick pass there for Simpson, who was just a little bit shallower there on that side. He'll play it. Dargan again, making his way infield.
Tell you what, my young bloke's gone to me wallet 11 times already today, and he's come back with his 7th pack of chips. He won't be sleeping tonight.
That wallet's copying and absolutely pounding as we see Dodge over there on that side. Well tackled by Brian. Had to be made there. Walker now. He'll look to settle near the post. He's still going Walker. He's getting close to the try line there, the big man. He'd love a try. And in fact, he's got the ball down there. So there you go, the debutant. Just barging his way across there, leaving multiple defenders in his wake.
Well, that's 2 debutants and 2 tries there for the Butchers there. Jake Walker and also Wayne Dargan on debut scoring for the Butchers. It looked like he just put that arm out from 10 metres out, Mitch.
Yeah, it looked like they had denied him, but referee Taylor Cleveland right on the spot there and points to the spot.
Thirroul 30, Corrimal, no, Thirroul 40, Corrimal 0.
And it is their 40-0 the score here with still 27 minutes to go. Well, and Walsh, another kick here from in front. You think he'll make it 42 very shortly.
I think we were here last year, the season before, and the Butchers put about 70 on the Cougars. Well, that day the Cougars scored first there, and the Butchers were behind 6-0. And I think in the end score was about 70-6. So, look, they are very known of putting big scores on the Cougars. At 40-0 with 26 minutes remaining. Thoughts?
Yeah, indeed.
Thoughts?
Some dangerous signs for the Cougars, Johnny, as you say, because they have been so good to start the season. It would be so easy to think, here we go again, and fall back into old habits and really fold up shop here. So a huge mental battle for the Cougars as much as a physical one.
Conversion attempt successful. It's Thirroul 42, Corrimal 0.
Tell you what, Lukey Gallagher, he's going to struggle to get his kicking duties back when he comes back next week. Walsh, 100% off the boot so far, and I really hope I haven't put the mock on him here and he misses the next few if they score, but he's been really, really good with the boot. I know a lot of them have been from close range, but he did have one from out wide. He put over the green dot in the first half, so a good kicking display here by the number 7.
Indeed it is. Maloney with the ball on the tee. All too familiar scenario for all the Cougars this afternoon, getting things back underway. He'll push this one deep. Purcell coming forward to catch this one, and he finds Noble. So Noble bringing that one back. Still going Noble. Purcell, the one-handed pick up there, and finds Sirinen. Purcell again, Walker, the try scorer, really steamy onto that one. Really enjoying his added minutes out there this afternoon. Dodge now, back in behind the ruck. Doing it easy in this set there, Dodge. He might be trying to milk a penalty there, Dodge. He won't get one. To Tower, out from dummy half, and well tackled there by Peters. And now it's Walsh. He's going to put the kick back towards the post. It's a tester for Garrido. In fact, Smith's gone back there to field that one, so good work from the skipper. I think the chaser there, Higgins, just got called out of the play there, so it became a pretty easy pick-up for Smith there as Bryant now takes the ball forward. He's on his own 20. Throw a blanket over the Cougars at the moment, in behind the play the ball. So they start to take some shape now. That's Garrido, and some good first-up contact there from Morris and Walker, but Garrido wears it well, the number 1, and still going. Eccleston now. He's got support. He'll tuck that ball under and take it over halfway, last tackle. Maloney puts this spiral one up. It'll be a tester for Simpson over on that side. It's moving around everywhere, and he's done well, Tommy. And he gets a cheer from the crowd there as well.
You'd have got 100 to 1, Tommy. Simpson would have taken that.
He was one of the characters.
No,
I backed him in. As soon as it went up, I said he's going to gobble this up.
It's funny.
Tommy Simpson on that side.
You looked over the Thirroul bench there, and all the boys, reserve grade players, they're all saying there's no way he's going to take this. And as soon as he took it, there was a massive cheer.
Out in front of himself, he takes that one. Walker now.
Must be the mullet.
Up towards the 40. He's having a royal smile there with Mitch Bate on that side now as well. Tommy as Walsh gets this one onto Higgins for space for Tower. James is trying to reel him in, and he does, just stops his progress rather. Walsh, long ball there for Fletcher. And Eccleston, he was looking for the intercepts of space for Doug, and Tommy Simpson on that side. He's streaking away down the chalk off his left foot and back. The in and away, Tommy Simpson. So right in the action there on the side. I think I just heard People's Champ yelled out.
Well, he started that set and he's finished at Tommy Simpson. All the good work there from that spiral bomb. The Butchers, they've gone 90 metres there in that set of 6. And I think it was a pass by Fletcher, was it there? Ryan Fletcher?
Just a link pass there from Walsh. A long ball for Fletcher.
46, Corrimal 0. Kick to come.
Who put Dargan away over on that side, and he finds Simpson in support. He had a bit to do there. Garrido coming across in cover, and Tommy Simpson just a little in and away. He's a big man for a winger. He's always going to be hard to stop one-on-one from there, Johnny.
We've seen him in the centres over the last few years. We've seen him play the back row. He's found a bit of a home here on that left-hand wing last season and this season. You're going to be hard to replace at any stage there, Tom Simpson, because he does a good job out there on that left-hand wing.
Very good bringing it out of his own end too, like we said, the big body. So he shows some value on that left flank, as we see Callum Tatawa now coming from the park as well. So, tell you what, there's some talent on that bench at the moment, Johnny, on the Thirroul Butchers bench.
There's a few dollars sitting there, isn't there?
A few dollars from the team sitting there.
We see Matty Siren onto the field for the Butchers. He looks like
Jamin Tiata as well, the 17, onto the park on this right edge.
We've seen Jamin play reserve grade earlier on at fullback, so he's come on to replace Callum Tatawa in this right-hand side centre position. So, look, young kid, great footballer coming through the ranks of Thirroul.
And there it is, Johnny, you put the mock on him.
Well, he is human.
This is the first one of the afternoon.
He's human.
Conversion attempt unsuccessful.
So 46-0 the score, 21 minutes
Thirroul
remaining.
46, Corrimal 0.
And again, they make their way up to halfway for a restart.
What a physique this Damien Sirenen is here. He's just to the left of us, just standing there like a man mountain, isn't he?
Like a statue, mate.
Oh,
I spent a bit of time in Europe, as you've known, and he looks like a lot of those statues. They love a statue over there in Europe, I tell you what. They're everywhere.
And they moulded him from Ciro?
They look like he could be cast straight out of it, Damien Sirenen on this side. As Matt Siren takes it up over the 20. Plays it to Purcell. Onto that man, Sirenen. Tackled there by Peters. Doing the defensive work underneath there. Crosland. Takes it up over the 40. Siren now. Dummies to his outside. Eccleston up into the passing channel there to deny that one. And Sanders is just lifting him up there. It was a bit of a lazy one in the end. He just threw the legs in the air. Takes him beyond the perpendicular. And now Purcell, the quick tap. Putting him right back on the attack. He's looking for support, Purcell. Dragged to ground there by Smith. Short side for Higgins. Dodge off his left foot. Dodge. Still going. Dragged down there by Garrido, the fullback. Higgins onto Siren. Siren off his right foot. Conspicuous in the bright orange boots. Matty Siren. They do look new. Plays it to Purcell. Onto Walsh. Sirenen. Dummies to the outside. Sirenen still going. Sirenen. He's going to reach out there, and I think he's got there. He has. So the big European statue reaches out there and plants that one as the score continues to blow out here. 50-0 the score with
That's a
19
try to the
minutes left.
Bushrangers. Oh, not the Bushrangers.
Tell you what, the ground announcer might get carted out of here, calling the Butchers the Bush Rangers,
Thirroul
but
50,
big Damien
Corrimal 0.
Sirenen there. He's playing a bit on this edge now. We've seen Siren in the front row there. We've seen Jake Walker in that front row earlier on, and it's just given Sirenen that availability to play a little bit out wider. Jared Costello keeping him on the paddock, giving him the big fella a lot of minutes today, and there we go. Great forwards try. He just left him in his wake, didn't he?
Yeah, he's just tinkering. Jacko, he's got that back row there, but as we said, he's got some big names in his forward pack. He might just be looking at a myriad of ways to try to fit them all into his forward pack.
Jono's had enough sitting on the bench
Yeah,
here.
I know, he's back in there.
He's told Jacko, I'm not used to sitting here. Get me back on the field.
The action.
So the skipper, he wants to be a part of the last 18 minutes of the game here at Zeems Park. The Butchers, they've hit the calf century.
There you go, Johnny. Since you're wrapped in, mate,
I owe you a couple of schooners here.
Oh, mate, you owe him plenty. I'll tell you what, it's lucky you didn't give him that sort of wrap in a tight one, I'll tell you.
Conversion attempt successful.
So 52-0 is the score, 18 minutes remaining. So Tom Maloney again with the tee.
Successful.
The deep kick-off.
Corrimal 0.
Johnson going back for that one as Siren comes up there. Tonga. He was coming in looking for a big shot, wasn't he, the back rower? Matty Siren, Tonga. Both part of the Black Diamond Boxing Fight Night at the Wynn Entertainment Centre a couple of weeks ago. I had the great pleasure of emceeing that night. And I'll tell you what, both those guys threw themselves into the thick of it and they rugby league with the same sense of abandon.
How would you go to the conversation, Matty Siren, Jake Eccleston and big George Tyson? How would you like to sit there with a couple of beers?
Mate, I'd need some subtitles, I'll tell you, especially as it dragged on. It'd be a thrill a minute, though, I've got no doubt.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
We just see a little bit of an error there from the Butchers, so the Cougars with a rare chance with the footy this afternoon. And just a bit of a do-over here at the scrum. See the old boys down there, Corrimal, get them on side is the call. It is a short 10 there off the scrum. Maloney onto Garrido. Garrido off his left foot. To Maloney. Tonga. Still plenty of venom in his carries, Tonga as power shapes left, goes right. Maloney dummies twice to the outside, finds Smith. Back on the inside for Eccleston, crabbing his way back in field. He's looking for support, and the tip on there for Tonga off his right foot in the offload. It's a long one, and Peters, he's going to cross out there. What a ball there from Tonga. And they get over, they break the duck there, the Cougars. And a great interchange of passing there. They created some space on that side, but Eccleston crabbing his way back in field. The offload there, and Tonga. He went off his right foot and speared. It was a one-handed cutout pass there from the offload from Tonga, and Peters, the freshman on the park, scores the Cougars first of the afternoon. And the old boys, they get their first chance to go up this afternoon.
Yeah, they've got a cheer down here in the old boys bar. Sean Maloney, a smile on his face after that. It's the first time today we've seen the Cougars have players in motion. It's the first time that Maloney's got a good ball to Smith. Smith has gone crossfield. They've linked up there with Eccleston. A little bit of magic play there from Eccleston. Grabbed a crossfield there. He got the ball out to Tonga, who just absolutely put a Hail Mary miracle pass. I'll give it to him. That was skill from him. That was really good. It would have been a fluke from me and you out on the field, Mitch, but for him, that was just pure skill. And great
fluke to get either of us on the paddock, mate. I'll tell you what.
But great work from the Cougars. Where was this in the first half? Because that was a set that we've seen the last few weeks from the Cougars. It's been hidden up, but they've left that in the shed the whole game. It was good to see from the Cougars, and a big kick here for Thomas Maloney.
And a pretty good strike, but it will hook away to the left there. So 50-4 remains the score. First time we've really seen the two halves linked together. Yep. It's been sparing this afternoon. They haven't had a lot of footy in good field position, been hard for them to steer the side around without the ball. They both had plenty of pressure on them from the Butchers forwards, trying to make the afternoon difficult for them. But they linked there and just got the Butchers defensive line at 6s and 7s a little bit there and created the opportunity. And as we said, 15 minutes to go here. They want to take some momentum into next week, the Cougars.
They're up at Helensburgh next week,
They're up at Helensburgh next week. The way they've started the season, they're not the Cougars of previous years. They've got plenty to offer the competition this year.
Ladies and gentlemen,
this one result on one afternoon and take them back to square one.
Yeah, definitely. Next week's game's going to be a good one as well. Cougars and Helensburgh up there at Rex Jackson Oval, and we talked about it in the break. Look, if the Cougars, they'll get beat today. Next week, if they can beat the Tigers, they're going to be 3-1. It's not a bad place to be. And if they want to be in that 4th spot come the end of the year, you're probably only going to need 5 or 12 points on the competition ladder to get in that top 4.
You think it would be the case. Horvath now, Power, out from dummy half. Power, he's got the offload there. He's got Tauper in support. He gets the one-handed off. So some razzle-dazzle from the Cougars. Tonga. Made to play it there on the 30. Power goes blindside. It's taken a deflection there off Morris. So they'll say 6 more was the call. Definitely took a deflection off Morris there. Garrido onto Smith. Just a little bit slow motion here from the Cougars. The offload now. Eccleston, he's coming back in field again. Looking at carbon copy of the last play. This time he'll straighten up and be made to play at 20 metres out. And he's just throwing some caution to the wind, Johnny.
He's having a bit of fun out there, isn't he?
Gordon now, the front rower back in the action. Power. Short ball for Horvath. And it was just a bit long in the tackle there. I was saying he's got a very quick play the ball, Horvath.
I really like him around the ruck. The more he gets his hands on the ball, the better for the Cougars.
You see Gordon now taking this ball forward. Met there in the defence of Siren and Sirinen. Matty Siren doing a cartwheel there at marker. Power. Second man there for Maloney. Back on the inside for Tonga Tongo. Tonga Tongo will play it just a metre out. Power. Long ball for Maloney. Maloney onto Smith. Smith with some space on the outside. Eccleston, and Eccleston's going to cross out on that side. And there we see it again, Johnny. The two halves linking together. And the Cougars just really starting to throw the ball around and get some joy.
Well, a lot better performance here in the last 10 minutes from the Cougars, and it all goes down to their 6 and 7, running the ball, creating something out wide, having players in motion. They're such a good side when they have those players in motion, that 6 and 7 combined. They haven't been allowed all game today due to the defensive effort from the Butchers. Now the Butchers, their panels in front on the scoreboard, they seem to have let their foot off the accelerator a bit when they shouldn't, and they're allowing the Cougars just to their momentum, that go forward. And on the back end of a penalty there, we see the Cougars put points on the board.
11.5 minutes to go. That makes the score 52-8. Maloney will look to add the extras. And a good try, that one. They really created some space, went off the back of some quick play. The ball generating some second phase, which we haven't seen a lot of this afternoon to this point.
And Eccleston moving from the wing on into that centre position there. I think it's given the Cougars a bit more strike power out wide.
Maloney sizing this one up. Moving in Maloney. And that one's waved away. Did you give him a rap as well, Johnny?
No, I stayed quiet on that one. I was going to say something here. He probably deserves to kick this one, but I thought I'd better keep it to myself.
Oh, well, trying to spare him the mock.
Can even mock him when I'm even thinking about it. That's how good we go.
Thought crime. So the Butchers just slowly bringing this one up here. Not in any rush to get things underway. 10 minutes to go, 50-8 the score.
They've just let their foot off the accelerator, the Butchers, haven't they? They really just, they're starting to think, well, this one's dead and buried here.
As we said, it is that challenge to be up by that much at half-time, and they did go on with it early in this one, but they'll want to tighten things up here a little bit in that 10 minutes and not let their performance fall away too much. We spoke a lot about their first-up performance against Collegians through the week, Johnny, and that was certainly not an 80-minute performance, that one. It was a very much a tale of two halves for them. Good enough to get away with the win. When you've made winning a habit, that can happen, but they'll be looking to put together a full 80 minutes here. They've had a bit of a lapse in this last 5 to 10 minutes. There's power now. And the offload there, a beautiful one. Garrido.
Oh, he's in pain.
He's rolled over there. He cried out in pain straight away.
Sean Maloney just put his head into his hands there.
The football gods just not smiling on the Cougars in this game.
You could hear it as soon as he got tackled there. You could hear the squeal from him. And there we see the trainer running off here. I won't be surprised if they get the stretcher out here to get him off, because that was a hell of a noise he made when he got tackled.
Yeah, not good to see at all. It's a part of this game that we love to play and watch, but that one tough to watch.
Oh, very, very, very tough to watch. And look, he's been unreal this season. The first 2 weeks going in that fullback position. He was out in the centres last year, and I thought he was a very good player for the Cougars. And he's just come into his own there with that number 1 on his back this year. And someone had to stand up with Jared Smith going from number 1 to number 6. They really needed a good number 1, and he's provided that the last few weeks, and this is devastating for the Cougars. With Thomas Garrido's come off, we had George Tyson come off, we've had Seb Blackett come off, all with knee injuries in this game. And look, Sean Maloney, we've talked about him in the podcast through the week about what he does, the efforts he puts in here out at Corrimal, and look, as you said, the football guys just aren't with him, are they?
They weren't last year, obviously, either. Big signing. Junior Vivo was a big signing for them and got a Super League opportunity and went over to pursue that. Of course, no one would begrudge him that. And Tom Maloney, the number 7, breaking his leg in game 1 last year. So I don't know if he's broken a few mirrors of late Sean Maloney or not, or walked under some ladders, but a tough one for him to swallow.
You can just tell by the way he coaches teams and the rapport he's got with his players and everything that if he had a really, really, really good football team, he could just lead them anywhere.
The energy and the play he's managed to get out, so he's looking in all sorts of pain there. They haven't put him on the stretcher. They might
call this game off him.
They might be willing to call it with 9.5 minutes to go. Are they? I don't know if what the rules are.
They're going to call this.
They're going to call this, so there it is. So, not the way you want to see any game end. 50-8 to score, 9.5 minutes to go, and well, we said coming into it was the biggest day we've seen out at Zims Park for quite some time coming in, but a very, very anticlimactic end for the Cougars and the fans that packed the ground here this afternoon. So that is the final score, 50-8. And thoughts with Tom Garrido out there. We hope he will be okay. It looked a nasty one.
You got to feel a little bit sick, don't you, in the belly. You see all these injuries and just what the Cougars have shown the last few weeks. Such good promise there, and this sort of injuries to key players that can really halt your season.
Yeah, so a forgettable afternoon ultimately for the Corrimal Cougars. The Butchers, they bank another win, 50-8. They remain undefeated this season. As we see the players come from the field, that will be it from Zims Park this afternoon. Johnny, thanks for joining us, mate.
Look, Mitch, thank you. It's been a good day of rugby league for all you Butchers supporters. 50 points on the scoreboard. The Cougars, they'll go back to training on Tuesday and have a think about what they can do next week and try and get another 2 points up there at Rex Jackson Oval. I'll see you Wednesday afternoon for another round 3 of our podcast, mate.
Of course, Taste of Steel. Go and give it a listen. Couple of two blokes gibbering about footy, but it's worth a listen. We like to think so anyway. Yeah. But thank you all very much for joining us for Bar TV. I've been Mitch Jennings from the Illawarra Mercury. Thank you very much for being with us. We'll see you out there next week somewhere in the Illawarra.